Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 5, Episode 14. So much disrespect. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Share with a friend. Hit that notification bell so that you will be updated each and every time I upload a video. Now, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. When the episode first opens up, Marsau and Tisha are at Black, all dressed in their Sunday's best. It's date night / date day. It's date time, honey, dateline. I don't know what's happening. Okay, but they having a date. So Marsau said, that they're scheduling their togetherness around busyness, because usually they schedule their date nights, but now they're scheduling their life around their dates and not their dates around their life. Honey, I don't know what y'all doing, but y'all getting together and making sure you keep the spark. We got it. So they start talking about Jalen taming cougars and whatnot. And so Tisha brings up Hotel being with She by Sheree. So then Marsau goes, oh yeah, hey, by the way, Mel is stopping by. I said, what now? Tisha was like, coming where? She's coming by where? This man said, yeah, well, I texted her and she hit me back. And so I just invited her to come on by, since she's free. So Tisha's like, I don't like that. You should not be texting her. Like, you should be, letting me know that you're texting her. He's like, well, it was my assistant. She's like, well, we need to be in a group text. Whatever it is, I need to know what's going on. So he tries to say, well, I mean, you met with Martel. She was like, I met with Martel because we were talking about Scolt. We were not talking about anything personal. Like, what do you have to say to her? So he's trying to explain to her that he wants to tell her some new developments that transpired between the time that they talked to Mark. So Tisha feels like that this isn't okay because they're cordial. They're not friends. Marsau is gaslighting the hell out of her, making her think, that she doesn't know what cordial means. And she said, this lady, listen to me, Marsau. This lady said I was her enemy. And for people that are saying, she didn't say, Mel explicitly said to Martel last episode that Tisha and them were her enemies and Martel was leading the charge. So we're not going to act like she didn't use the word enemy, because she in fact used the word enemy. So Marsau is like, but I mean, y'all was just cool and destined. So she's trying to explain that away. And I'm just going to have to give it to y'all straight, no chaser. Yes, she did go to the house while they were vacationing, her and Martel and the family. Yes. But her and Mel are doing the exact same thing, and y'all not going to act like they're not. Mel did not want Tisha in her presence. Let's just keep it real. Mel does not like Tisha. She was pissed that Martel invited them on this trip, and she expressed that to Miss Vanessa, but she still was cordial and respectful to Tisha in her presence. Tisha in turn did the exact same thing. So I don't understand what Marsau is not getting. Like, I understand Tisha, because to be honest, this is our date night. Let's just take Mel out of it. Take her out, take her out, take her out, take her out. I don't care who it is. Don't invite nobody impromptu to our date night. This is the wrong time and place. If you want to talk to her about something, then you talk to her another time. What I really think she was upset about is the fact that it was on her time. Like, not you gonna invite her on our date. And I know some could, argue, well, she got invited to interrupt the family vacation. That was on Hotel. Hotel is a full-on fool. But I'm going to tell y'all like this. Tisha wasn't playing with Marsau. And I'm surprised that she piped up the way that she did. And I appreciated it, because he talks to her like she's the scum beneath his shoes. He does not respect her, and he doesn't respect her as a person. Listen, I know people going to try to make it seem like, she's being unreasonable. Let's keep it real. If Mel and Martel were still together, he would not be meeting with Tisha. If Mel said no, the answer is no. Just like she sat at that table and told Hotel, listen, you are friends with people that are my enemies, and you was the main one. So really and truly, I don't really mess with none of y'all. She expressed to her mom, I don't want to be friends with Tisha. Tisha's not my friend. Yeah, I can smile and laugh and say hello, but she's not my friend. So why is it wrong when Tisha says it, but it's not wrong when Mel says it? Like, we have to really stop that, because it just doesn't make any sense. They're both doing the exact same thing. So Marsau was calling her jealous and saying she's the jealous wife. And Tisha was like, damn well, I'm not jealous of nobody. Now let's just pause for the cause. Does she need to be jealous of Mel? No, because they're both accomplished, beautiful women in their own right. But a blind man can see that Marsau loved to flirt with him some Mel. And if I were in Tisha's shoes, I would be a little bit insecure too, because it's looking like, well, damn. Every time I turn around, you sitting up here fussing and fighting with me over another woman. Every time we get with her, you get to taking her side and I'm looking like a fool. And why would you call me jealous knowing that every time I open up a blog or every time I go to YouTube or every time I go to Twitter or anything social media, people are calling me out of my name and calling me jealous. So you as my husband, why would you say that? Like, seriously? Child, he was pissing me off, honey. Now, I don't know what y'all thinking about, honey, but he was pissing me off. So these two are going back and forth and back. He's having a full-on argument because he wants to meet with Mel. Sir, go ahead and meet with her, child. Your wife is saying that she doesn't like it. And you still trying to make her feel like your way or the highway. Like my way's always worked. So why are we doing it your way? But Tisha ain't backing down. So he talking all crazy, trying to compare her meeting with Martel when he know dang on well that is not the same thing. When it was his idea for her to meet with Martel so that she could give her blessing with him rejoining Scout. See, this is the thing about Marsau. When a woman is making a point, he started talking out loud. Because I saw a sneak peek of the reunion and he does the same thing to Mel when she starts spilling that tea. He started talking all over. He did the same thing to Kiki when she was getting ready to reveal all. He started talking all over. Stop doing that. You do that so no one will get a word in edgewise and you ain't fooling me. So, I mean, that's just my stance on it. I feel like it's just a matter of respect. You could have told her beforehand. She's coming in there excited about a date night and you just, oh yeah, Mel's stopping by. And I'm quite sure that Mel would have felt the exact same way had the roles been reversed. She would have cussed Hotel out. Don't you dare invite Tisha into my space. Yes, we sat and filmed the scene, but we ain't friends, okay? We ain't friends. So don't invite people into my space like that. So that's just that on that. I understand that she went to the vacation, but she's saying the same thing as Mel. And Mel has also stated Tisha isn't her friend. In last episode, she said that Tisha was her enemy. Marsau comes back in and tells Tisha she needs to let things go. Because he gets up and tells her, I don't want to listen to you. I don't want to hear nothing you have to say. So he gets up and leaves the table. And she's like, oh, he's so stupid. So they having a full-on argument, honey. Production, they done broke the fourth wall. He walks out, comes back in, and tells Tisha she needs to let things go. And if she says she's over it, then she just needs to get over it. Now, to be fair, they all do that. All of them do that. All of them say I'm over it and ain't really over it. Destiny does that too. She'll say, yeah, well, I should have said this. Get in front of Mel. You love me, don't you? I don't fool with Tisha. She's my enemy. Get in front of Tisha. Well, you know, I'm just really reclaiming my peace. And so I'm fine with everything. And I'm fine with everyone. Hey, Mel, it's so good to see y'all at the event. I do not want you texting Mel. What the hell is wrong with you? They all do that. Okay, so we're not going to just sit up here and act like it's just one or the other, honey. Every last one of y'all doing it. Every last one of y'all getting on my nerves. Moving forward. In the next scene, Hotel goes to meet with Chris Fletcher so he can show him a potential space for his wine event. You know, he had that tacky one in Atlanta, child, that he thought was so elegant. And I was thinking to myself, why are you taking Chris Fletcher? What happened to Mel Nika? What happened to Mel 1.0? Child, after y'all started talking about she slept with Hotel, that husband probably was like, that's the end of filming, honey. Get somebody else to do it. Baby, that's the end of filming for you. And scene. Honey, I know that's right. So Martel is asking Chris what he thinks about the space. He's like, do you think I should get it? Like, what you think? He don't think nothing, child. He's just here. It's your dime. So you want it or not? So they start talking about the Sutter Homes of it all. Okay, because we already know that Hotel done slapped this label, allegedly, on something that people are saying in the streets is not his own wine, stomped with his own grapes. I'm just saying, honey, the streets is talking. So anywho, they start talking about that. And so Chris asks who all is invited and is he inviting his uncle? Now, y'all remember Uncle Sam, not the Uncle Sam that takes out of your check, but the Uncle Sam that was at the whole wine event in Atlanta. And y'all know he was not happy because Martel did not acknowledge his mother, which the wine was named after. So Martel is telling him, you know, of course he's invited. I got to make amends for what I did last time. He didn't want to speak to me. Everything was, up in the air. I had to get my mom to smooth things over. So then they show us like a little flashback of Martel actually talking to his uncle, and his uncle, understood. And he said that he was going to make sure that he acknowledged his grandmother moving forward because, of course, the wine is named after her. So then they start walking and talking, right? And Martel is telling Chris that, they went on the trip, and he's like, well, are you inviting Mel to the wine event? And he's like, yeah. He said, oh, okay, so you inviting her. So then Martel gonna say, yeah, we can do that now because, I don't want her. She don't want me. Skirt. Sir, you definitely want her. You definitely want her. Honey, I don't care who you hang out with up and down the Atlanta streets. Melody is who you want. And you ain't fooling me. Now, she don't want you. Well, she might. I don't know. She don't want you, but I know damn sure you want her. Okay, so, I guess you faking it till you make it, honey. He was like, the best thing about it is that we know that we're not trying to get back together so we can be the best co-parents that we can be. And Chris is like, oh, man, you killing my dreams. Mel, I'm speaking directly to you, honey. These are the people you need to be mad at. The people that keep trying to throw you back into this mess. Why y'all insist on wanting this woman back with this awful man? She has picked herself up, dusted herself off. She has tried to heal, and y'all continue to want to throw her back in this god-awful relationship. It's just stupidity to me. Like, I just get really upset when I keep hearing people say, man, I want y'all to get back together. For what? Yes, they were a beautiful family. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, you have to think about the residuals of what happened because of this relationship. Like, look at what the mess that he left in his wake. And he still is doing the exact same thing. Now, lately, he's been quiet. But a few months ago, he was still acting up. So, why do y'all want these people to get back together, honey? I'm not understanding. So, Martel is telling Chris that, and he's saying that, oh, you're shattering my dreams. Sir, please. So he asked, had Martel spoken to Marsau? And he was like, yeah, actually, he was down the street. And he showed up in Destin to where we were vacationing or whatever. And so he was like, yeah, I need to talk to him. He said, oh, when the last time you talked to him? He said, not in a while, but I do need to, because he was making it seem like he was with me the whole time. And I need to talk to him about that. Because really and truly, I was with him for like 2 hours. Yeah, I showed him a property, but I left him around 4:30. So Martel is like, well, he's still trying to get people off his back about that whole back picture thing. And he was like, yeah, apparently Tisha pulled up on him. They thought he was with a girl. He tried to throw me in the mix, but I had been left him a long time ago. So in the confessional and things of that nature, because we all know that Martel loved to say and things of that nature. Try him on nothing else. And he was saying that, people are trying to paint Marsau out to be this cheater and, alleging all these things and, making him look bad and things of that nature. And it's never good to have a wife that's hurting because, she's going to start to believe the allegations. Well, you would know, but you need to hush. Okay. I guess hindsight is 20/20 and you trying to turn that thing around. But for me, I just don't trust you. Okay, I don't trust you as far as I can throw you, honey. And I can't pick you up, so I don't trust you. Basically, Chris was like, look, leave me out of the lie. Okay, I don't want to be your alibi. Get somebody else to do it. Baby, Chris said, honey. I just got my wife back, honey. And I was cheating in the streets, too. Back in the day. You're not finna have me out here acting like I'm your wingman for you to cheat. Hell no. In the next scene, Mel arrives at Black looking like Miss Vanessa. Hey, girl. To talk to Marsau. And so Marsau was trying to make small talk. Sir, get to it. Okay, get to it. So she wanted to know why he wanted to talk to her. And so Marsau tells Mel when Kimmie mentioned that they needed to talk to Mark, they actually did it because he's a habitual line stepper. He likes to overstep his boundaries. And, he just wanted to let him know that his actions affect him and his family. So Mel was like, wait a minute. Did he say anything about me? Because, I like to respond. I'm not the one to start it, but I will respond to what's going on. So he said, well, he did say something about your mom. She said, that ain't got nothing to do with me. What did he say about me? So Marsau was like, well, what I want you to say is, Marsau, thank you for giving me a hit. Sir, whatever. What is this about? Ain't nobody got to thank you for coming in and having them sit down for you to talk to them about Mark. Absolutely not. So Marsau wanted to give her a heads up before she saw what Mark had to say. And Mel was just like, you know, had I known that he was going to be talking about Mark, I wouldn't have even shown up. And my thing is this. You had a fight with your wife. You made a fool out of yourself because Mel don't even want to hear what you have to talk about, all because you want to look Mel in the eyes, and you ain't fooling me. Because why do you need to see this woman? Let's just call a spade, honey. You just want to sit in Mel's presence. We all know you got a little crush, allegedly. Like, it comes through the screen. It's really hard to hide. It's been there since season 1. So she didn't even want to hear about it, honey. And this right here could have been a text. Moving forward. In the next scene, Kimmie and Maurice are hosting the original 6, which I love to see. I love when all 6 of them get together. I mean, everybody was just looking good. I was like, look at y'all beautiful black people, honey. I love to see it. So Marsau wanted to do something for Kimmie, especially since what she's going through. He wanted to cook for her. So they're all in the kitchen talking before Mel and Martel get there. And so Tisha and Marsau are talking about them stopping by to visit Hotel and Mel and Destin. So while they're talking about that, Kimmie was like, you know, it hasn't been easy to get to the point where I am. And I'm just getting to a point where I don't cry when I talk about my diagnosis, but just being around y'all, it makes me feel better, you know? So they're talking about the whole Destin trip. So Kimmie goes, so what's been going on with y'all? So Marsau gonna say, well, I mean, when you put your foot in your mouth and you say things your wife doesn't like. So before he got finished with that, Tisha said, wait a minute. Okay. She interrupts him. So she asked Maurice, she said, listen, if a woman declares Kimmie their enemy, do you meet with them? Kimmie said, well, I told Maurice before we even got married, you don't need to be having meetings with women and I find out about it later. Enemy or no enemy. Like, that's just not what we gonna do. So Tisha said, well, what if he told you right before she walked in? Kimmie said, I know, I think I deserve a heads up. That's just respect. Absolutely. That's all I'm saying. It's just a matter of respect. I didn't like it when Martel did it to Mel when they were in Destin, and I don't like it when Marsau did it. It's disrespectful. And Mel said herself in her confessional, see, this is the same old disrespect from our marriage. He is very disrespectful and he crosses boundaries. That's the same thing that Marsau is doing. It is okay for Tisha to be upset about that. You don't get to do that. Like, sir, that doesn't make any sense. And I am so happy that, you know, Kimmie, the fan favorite, said something. Because, child, I know y'all was about to be on my neck, honey. I know y'all was about to be like, well, Misha, what I... Child, listen. It was disrespect. Point blank in the period. It was disrespectful. So Tisha asked Marsau in the confessional, she's like, well, if you were cooking and we were all getting together, why didn't you talk to Mel tonight when we were all here? He couldn't even say nothing. He was like, you know what? You right. And he made a fool of himself, girl, because she didn't even want to talk to him. Anywho, so then Hotel and his hoochie daddy shorts, they show up. Hey, sir. So they go to the table and they're sitting down, right? And so they start talking. So Tisha was like, ooh, I heard you got the YouTubers in an uproar. Tisha, leave us out of it, okay? Leave us out of it, child. Ain't nobody tell him and Sheba Sheree to call TMZ to meet them down there at that park. Not nobody. Okay, that's their own doing. So then Kimmie said, I heard you got a new boo. I heard you was with Sheree. I'm sure. He's like, yeah, we kick it. I mean, we're friends. So Kimmie said, so how did you meet her? He said, I met her through a friend. I think he met her through Chris Fletcher. That's who I think he met her through. I really do. So Kimmie goes, well, child, it's all over TMZ. I don't know why you being so tight-lipped. I mean, we want to meet Sheree. Like, tell us about it. Honey, I know that's right. Trying to act all secretive and whatnot. So Mel shows up. Hey, girl. Like she just eloped down at the courthouse. Dun, 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 dun. Baby, Mel had on it all white. I said, ooh. So wait a minute. Why when I think it was Marsau went to go open the door talking about, you look fresh out of a photo shoot. Baby, he loved him some Mel. So she comes on in and sits down. Martel lit the hell up because y'all know he was waiting for her to show up. He's like, yeah, you know, Mel is wearing white and it's funny because today would have been our 14th wedding anniversary. Sir, don't flatter yourself. Okay? She is not wearing white because she used to be your bride. I mean, the things that come to Hotel's mind, they just baffle me. Sir, she is not wearing white in ode of you. Boy, goodbye. Moving forward. And we know you remember, honey. We know you remember that anniversary if don't nobody else remember it. So after a little banter between Mel and Martel, when she sat down, you know, they were talking about where the kids were, and, you know, Hotel just got to get her attention. Look at me. Look at me. Okay, sir, she sees you. She see you, Tank. Calm down. So he invites them all to the wine tasting. So they all like, oh, okay. So here go Marsau. Are you coming, Mel? Are you going to be there? Because, honey, you know, he going to be the first one in the door with Mel coming. She said, let me check my schedule. So they started asking. She said, I said, let me check my schedule. Here go Martel. It's next Thursday. Sir, she don't give a damn if it's next Thursday, if it's next Tuesday, if it's today at 3:00. She said, let her check her schedule, aka I ain't coming. Oh, honey, that was so funny to me. That boy say it's next Thursday. So then in the confessional, she's like, yeah, I said, let me check my schedule. So she's upset because Martel told the side chick, she said, yeah, he, you know, talked to her about my personal medical information. She had the beer virus. Mel, all of our medical information has been shared amongst each other. They have a child. So if he was around you and you had it and his kids were around you and then they were around him and then he goes around the baby, he could potentially pass it to him, who could pass it to, well, child, we don't really care. Yeah, I ain't gonna be mean. He could pass it to his mama. So I feel like he shared it because of that. Like, girl, anywho. So they're all sitting there and they're talking and everything. And so Kimmie finally tells them about her diagnosis and how it's just been a whirlwind and how she's been, you know, doing with chemo and her having the surgery. And she tells Mel that she really appreciates her for reaching out several times, but she also appreciates Mel being able to let her get herself together. And so Martel gets up to give her a hug, which I actually thought this was a very genuine moment for Martel. I give him a lot. A whole lot. And I never give him a pat on the back, not ever. But in that moment, I really felt like he was being sincere. And he said that, you know, his grandmother went through it and Kimmie's such a sweet lady. And he hates that she has to go through that because she's so sweet. So then, you know, they show Mel and she's like rubbing Kimmie's back and she got really emotional. I mean, because how could you not? Like, how could you not? And so Mel is really emotional, honey. She started crying, then I started crying. I'm like, oh. And here we are, another Saturday with me crying. It's just, I mean, no matter how many times Kimmie tells them her diagnosis, I cry every single time. Every single time. But y'all, the good news is that she rang the bell. She's done with chemo and we're praying for cancer-free, staying cancer-free, watching her grandchildren grow up, watching her son get married, watching, you know, Maurice Jr. do his thing as he grows and becomes a man. And we're just going to keep on speaking into existence that everything going to be all right. Okay. And that's just that on that. So as they're sitting around the table, it's all 6 of them. Kimmie said, you know, on her good days, she loves to do things with them because they're her people and she wants to do things that make her happy. And, you know, they all just sat around and they laughed and they were having a good time. And it felt like the old comeback group. And it was beautiful to see them all together, petty and all. It was a sight to see. I love when all 6 of them get together and they don't be acting a fool. I love it. And I think what Carlos needs to understand going forward is that we like the scenes with all 6 of them. I didn't miss Destiny. I didn't miss Stormy Weather. I didn't miss the uh-ohs. I didn't miss Tiffany and her kitten heels. I didn't miss none of them. Okay? None. I feel like the core 6 is what we need. Keep the mamas out too, honey. All of them can stay gone. And that was the end of the episode. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about this episode. I thought it was beautiful that they could all come together and be mature enough to actually sit with Kimmie and not let the pettiness take over and have a good time in honor of her. And she's still living, she's still kicking, she's still breathing, everything's still all good. And I'm just happy that she's getting through this thing. As far as Mel and Martel are concerned, child, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. Tisha, you still mad. Mel, you still mad. Marsau, shut up. Anywho, y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about the episode. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.